Finally, guys, I was able to carve out some time and I'm getting to it now. This is my mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2024. What is going on, everybody? I am Mac and I am back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, link down in the box below. So I finally got to it. Free agency was wild. I had some other videos I wanted to pump out, but I'm getting to it right now. This is my mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2024. I have everything pulled up right here, and I really don't know if I'll be making another mock draft, but I know that I wanted to get this one out. This is probably going to be my only one. This is pretty much like my pipe dream right here, what I think the Steelers should do, and this is what I personally want. But you know the Steelers, like sometimes they just have picks that are out of the blue. Sometimes they're picks that are just kind of like reaches. But hey, Omar Khan, at least so far, hasn't done any stuff like that. But yeah, this is my mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2024. And let's get on to it. So, with the 20th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. Yinz guys have heard this in some of my other videos that I have been screaming for the Steelers to draft this guy because we have a big gaping wound at center. And I think this pick makes perfect sense. For starters, the Steelers usually do a really good job at filling in needs prior to the draft in free agency to really keep themselves in a good position, but they still really haven't patched up that glaring hole that really needed to be addressed at center yet. And I think this warrants them to go after the highest valued center in the draft because, after all, we did sign Patrick Queen in free agency, who is the highest profile linebacker or inside linebacker, I should say, of free agency. So either we're going to add someone prior, but it's kind of hard not to see value in Jackson Powers Johnson in this spot. But with all that being said, this is still going to be a great pick if the Steelers go through it. He's pro ready. He's got great size. He's got great strength, and he's got great athleticism as well. If you're looking for a great run blocker as well as a pass protector, he's a great team first player, and he really did excel in his last season at Oregon, and more specifically as a dominant run blocker. He can really make the line of scrimmage go on its feet, keep it honest. And like I said, with him just being pro ready and him just being a big size contributing factor to our offensive line, who can protect a guy like Russell Wilson, who's going to be under center for us, I think this is going to be a great pick overall right here. There's no way the Steelers can pass on this guy if he's still available at 20. So Jackson Powers Johnson, he's my first pick for the first round for the Steelers. And then in the second round, with the 51st overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Braden Fisk, defensive lineman out of Florida State. So a couple weeks ago, I put out a video saying that I wanted the Steelers to get youth on the D-line, mainly because of Cam Hayward's age and cap hit. And it's real easy to see why, as Cam Hayward is in his early to mid 30s right now. His days are really getting numbered right now as the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I said, it's going to cost us a little bit if we do keep him there, for the long term and for pretty much for him to finish up his career, as like I said, he's coming towards the twilight of his career. So this really makes defensive line a very big priority in the draft, as we did attempt to fix some of it up as we re-signed Montravius Adams, which I'm on board with totally. But like I said, I want more youth on this defensive line. And I think Braden Fisk, who already has garnered a lot of attention for the Steelers in the offseason, I think this pick makes a lot of sense. He has had a pre-draft visit with the Steelers after he met with them in the Senior Bowl, dominated in the mobile in this down the mobile in the Senior Bowl with practices. It showcased his potential to a key, and he really is a great pass rusher as well. That being said, his arm length is a little bit of a concern right there, but it's not really one for me personally. But he is extremely productive, and pairing him with Keanu Benton as the next generation of starting defensive linemen in Pittsburgh, I think this is going to be a very good pick for the Steelers if we, in fact, take them at 51. So, yeah, Braden Fisk is my second round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now, with the 84th overall pick in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Malaki Corley, wide receiver out of Western Kentucky. I just want to say in advance, please correct me if I'm butchering some of these names. Some of these names are kind of hard to pronounce, so please correct me if I'm butchering some of these names. But with the Deontay Johnson trade and cutting Allen Robinson, and with us signing a wide receiver recently, that's going to leave a big hole at receiver that the Steelers do need to fill in. And we are really lacking that number one, number two, number three receiver, even so with that. But I think if we get this kid out of Western Kentucky in the third round, I think it's going to add some good value, because he's a really good pass catcher. He's built like a running back, and he does play like he's very competitive with the catches. He's dangerous in the short portions of the field, which I think is going to help benefit our short yardage plays. And catching the ball with a lot is going to up his yak ability, and he has had that yak threat when he was in college. So I think this is going to be really good value for the Steelers if we take him. Putting him opposite of George Pickens, I think would help the Steelers continue to generate explosive plays in the passing game. And the thing about him is that you can put him outside in the slot or even in the backfield if Arthur Smith can get creative enough. So, yeah, I'm on board with this. I would take Malaki Corley at wide receiver at number 84 overall. Now, with the 98th overall pick in the third round of the draft of the 2024 NFL Draft, in a trade from the Philadelphia Eagles, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kyrie Jackson, cornerback out of Oregon. So we still need to really address that corner position despite us getting Dante Jackson from the Carolina Panthers in the Deontay Johnson trade. We don't really have any starting options currently in-house for us for 2024. But I think if some of the other high-profile corners are already off the board, we may need to really go after the best available corner of the outside and get creative with Dante Jackson, or look to bring it back Chandon Sullivan, in my opinion. So I think really Kyrie Jackson is just the best overall pick right here. And I think much like Joey Porter Jr., he's still young. He stands at 6'4", 33-inch arms. I think this is going to be a great pairing with Joey Porter Jr. He started at Alabama before he transferred to Oregon, and he became a really good press man corner. Like I said, with his size, his length, his athleticism, he can blanket opposing receivers down the field. And even though he's going to be a 25-year-old rookie, which can be seen as a negative, that's still pretty he's still on the rather young side, so it's not like he's super old or anything. But I think just pairing him along with another young corner and Joey Porter Jr. is going to be beneficial for us, as he's going to be a great contributor down the line, and we can also move around Dante Jackson. So I would take this guy at 98. So with the 119th overall pick in the fourth round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jamari Thrash, wide receiver out of Louisville. So again, we're going with receivers here as we, if you remember back in 2022, we took two receivers in 2022 with George Pickens and Calvin Austin III. And I think if we double dip at receiver again in 2024 with, I mentioned, Corley and now Jamari Thrash, I think that's going to be beneficial for us as well. He is a very good route runner. He's very nuanced right there. He's got a lot of great speed that can complement Calvin Austin right there. He's really good at shaking off defenders and top routes. And I think he can be a really good replacement for Deontay Johnson in receiving corps. Because, like I said, the only thing that I'm going to kind of miss with Deontay Johnson is his route running ability. But I think Jamari Thrash does have that production value that Deontay Johnson lacked. And, putting him along with the route running ability is going to be very, it's going to help out the receiving corps in the long run. It adds a lot of skill in the inside, outside, versatile receivers. And he can create a lot of, play styling ability that's going to talent Russell Wilson. And if Justin Fields gets, hit the green light to start him as well. So I really like this guy for his versatility and his speed, and he can probably make a great deep threat as well. So with the 178th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft in the sixth round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select James Williams, who is a safety linebacker hybrid from Miami of Florida. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are looking to add another strong safety alongside another inside linebacker that can help out Deshaun Elliott and Patrick Queen. And I really do like these hybrid type picks right here because you can plug and play them at either spot. And I think that's going to be a very big, advantage for us right there because, that's what Mike Tomlin's all about. He's about availability and he's about, versatility as well. And I think James Williams is going to be a perfect pick for Mike Tomlin right here. So, like I said, aside from him being that safety inside linebacker at the next level, I really think that he can play better in like that box safety sort of role, even though he does lack a little bit of fluidity, but I think you put him in better as a safety, and that can really elevate his game up because he's able to play the ball in front and he's able to match up with the two tight end set because he's got a really good size as well. So I would see him being more as a safety to help out Deshaun Elliott. He can come in and contribute immediately to special teams as well. So putting him alongside Miles Killebrew is going to be good as well. But putting him in that safety dime linebacker spot is going to give him a lot more playing time. But I would really like to see this guy, strive as a safety as well because we kind of really did patch it up with Patrick Queen. And you're going to be putting him alongside with Landon Roberts anyway to help out the run game. But I think that with this pick right here, it really is going to elevate Patrick Queen even further, kind of like with Roquan Smith. But yeah, that's my round 6 pick at 178. And then finally, with the 195th overall pick in the 6th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Travis Glover, offensive lineman out of Georgia State. So to close out our draft, I'm going to go O-line, doing it the same way that we started with going O-line. And, this Travis Glover kid, he's a player that we brought in for another pre-draft visit. And he did work with Isaac Williams at the Senior Bowl, and he had Williams on hand to put him through drills and pro day. So I think the Steelers do have a fair amount of interest in him. And again, with his good size along with his arm length, it does make him a good ideal target in the later part of the draft. And developing him behind Dan Moore and Broderick Jones is a very good potential swing tackle that's going to benefit our O-line better. And again, just adding more depth and adding more youth to our offensive line. So Travis Glover is my final pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2024 NFL Draft. And there you have it, folks. That is my mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2024. Did I leave anyone out? Do you have any other suggestions for who we might draft? Let me know in the comments down below. And this is Mac checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.